Reset. Okay, Rabotai, welcome everyone. We're very excited. I'd like to present to you one solid question. Okay? And I need your concentration over here. The beginning of the Parashat, it speaks about where Yaakov calls in Yosef, and he tells Yosef, please, I have a request to ask you. And in his requests, he asks him the what? To bury him in Israel by Marat HaMachpelah in Hebron. Good. Later on, after that episode, Yosef brings in his children, Ephraim and Menashe, and at that moment, Yaakov says, by the way, I want your children to be like, of course, like the Shevatim. That's how great they're going to be, and therefore they'll be part and parcel like the Shevatim, Ephraim and Menashe. Then, you have Yaakov tells Yosef, oh, and by the way, if you're going to ask me, how come I didn't bury your mother? Who was Yosef's mother? Rachel. Says, you're going to ask me, how come I didn't bury your mom in Israel, in Hebron like me? So he says, don't worry. Rashi explains over there that what was a pia dibur. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to be like that. Why? Because one day, Bnei Yisrael are going to get kicked out of Israel. And when they come out of Galut, what they're going to do is they're going to go to Rachel, Kever Rachel. And it's a very big segula to pray. Again, I have to make something very, very clear. When you go to any kevarim, you never pray to the kever. You know, Bnei Shchai says Avodah Zarah. You can't pray to the kever. You can't say, oh, Rachel, please, Rachel Imenu, please give me this, give me that. She's not God. Hashem is Hashem. It's a segula to pray at that place. You can say two things. One thing is you could say, B'schut Rachel Imenu, Hashem, B'schut Rachel Imenu, in this holy place, answer me, I need this, that. That's one way. The second way he says is, you could say, Rachel, please, go up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and pray for me. Two ways. You got the two ways? First way is, you pray to Hashem directly, you say Hashem direct, please answer me, B'schut Rachel Imenu, which B'schut is tzaddik. Or, you pray to Hashem, and you could say, or you pray, you tell the tzaddik that you're at, please, tzaddik so-and-so, go to Hashem and ask him so-and-so. But you can never pray to the tzaddik himself. Please, why? He's not God. He's Hashem. Hashem's Hashem. And now, the people are going to stop at Kever Rachel and pray to Hashem at Kever Rachel, and being the fact that it's such a segula at that makom, they'll get answered. So therefore, he tells Yosef, that's the reason why I didn't bury your mother in Marat Machpelah with me. Now, what's the obvious question on what I just said? That is, if you look, there's a big gap in between the time Yaakov asks Yosef to bury him, then all the way towards the end, it speaks about, oh, by the way, if you're going to ask me how I want to be buried in Israel, so you're going to ask me, how come you didn't bury my own mother in Israel? That's what you're going to ask me, how come I didn't bury your mother Rachel? Oh, that's because Hashem told me not to bury. There's a big gap in between, because the whole story of Menashe and Ephraim comes in the middle of all that. Why? What is it doing in there? You got the question? The question is, Yaakov should have told Yosef right away, bury me in Israel, and if you're going to ask me, how come I didn't bury your mother, that's because Hashem said, I can't bury her, I have to bury her here in this spot. Right? It didn't do it like that. The Torah didn't say it like that. The Torah first said, Yaakov tells Yosef, by the way, bury me in Israel, then you have a whole separate 10, 12, 15 Pesukim about Ephraim and Menashe, how Yosef brings Ephraim and Menashe, and then he says, oh, and by the way, going back to the original thing that I told you about burying me in Israel, the reason why I didn't bury your mother is because A, B, and C. That should be right after he asks him to bury. Correct, yes or no? Yes. You hear the question? Yes. I hope everybody got this question. I'm giving you the answer right now. Listen to this answer. This is from Shmuel Birnbaum. Shmuel Birnbaum answers as follows. He says, if you look clearly, the way Yaakov asks Yosef to bury, he says, Asita imadi chesed. Do a kindness to me. Now, I have a question right here. why is Yaakov asking Yosef, do a kindness with me and bury me in Israel? Do a kindness with me? And after he says, do kindness with me, Yosef says yes. And what does Yaakov say to his father? Yaakov tells his son, Yosef, swear to me that that's what you're going to do. Whoa. And Yosef swears. There's a very big question. If any father would have one last wish, before he goes, one last wish, and the son, first of all, would the son agree to it, yes or no? Would any son in the world agree to it?
Yes.
Of course, one last wish. He tells you before he's on his deathbed, he says, oh, please son, this is my last wish. What's your last wish? That anything you want, I'll take care of. What do you want? Whatever you want. Oh, take my body, bury me in Israel. Okay, no problem. But the whole situation is not like that. The whole situation first is what? First he says, ask me a hesed, do me a kindness. He doesn't have to do me a kindness. Just ask your son, by the way, do me this. And the second question is, if the Yosef says okay, then he tells him, swear to me that you're going to do it. I said it's okay. Finished. I said I'm taking care of it. Finished. Why does he make Yosef swear? It doesn't make sense to me. Go swear. I told you that I'll do it. Everybody will first of all do what his father's will is, and second of all is, why is he making him swear? For what reason is this? What's it needed for? So to this I must answer you. Yaakov, when he got to Israel, when he got down to Egypt, you have to understand what it says. Richie, listen. It says that the famine stopped. And the people were like blessed. So the people in Egypt, they wanted Yaakov to stay in Egypt. Even if he's dead. Imagine you have the biggest rabbi. You know, it was a true story with one big rabbi. You should know that. You want to hear a crazy story? I'll tell you. I forgot the rabbi who it was, but it's a very, very, very big rabbi. And at that time, what happened was, as the rabbi was, they asked him to come to a certain town. He says, no, I'm not feeling so good. I can't. No, rabbi, we need you to come. And the rabbi was very old at the time. And he had to go. Whatever reason is, he went. And he died in that town where he was going to travel to speak. But he wanted to bury in the people in his hometown wanted him there. But the people that he was speaking to, like, oh, wait, we have the rabbi here. He's staying with us here. And it was a whole tumult where he's going to be buried. Everybody wants the biggest rabbi to be buried in their land. Wow, imagine you have the biggest rabbi buried in my country. Woo! Think about it. The whole Egypt, they find out Yaakov Avinu died. What do you think they're going to do? Wait. He gave us a lot of barakah. We want his body in Egypt. You're not taking him anywhere. So Yaakov understood that. So he says, look. I know it's going to be a very, very, very hard situation to get out of Egypt. He knows that. Yaakov knows that. So how can he get out? First thing, let me tell you a rule. Ahava mekalkelet et hashura. You know what that means? Abi, I can't see you. Either move closer, I can't see you. You're falling there, so move one more over. Ahava mekalkelet et hashura. You know what that means, Richie? What does that mean? You know Hebrew. What does it mean?
It means the love will spoil the...
Ahava mekalkelet et hashura means love. When you love something so much, you go beyond limits that you never even knew you even had. When you love something so much, when you have a guy going out with a girl, let's say, they're dating, and he can be very tired. He can just get a text message. Oh, by the way, I'll be so in the mood for a Coke. Let's say, give me an example. All of a sudden, he's dead tired. He's in his pajama. All of a sudden, you see the guy. Oh, no problem. He goes with his car. He goes to the thing, and now he goes back home. He sends a picture like an Uber thing, like hey, God, there's that. Sends a picture. By the way, go look outside your front door. There's a big bottle of Coke waiting for you. Wow. What happened over here? After marriage, after he's 10 years married, his wife says, honey, could you get me Coke? Oh, get yourself. Listen on the thing. Go to your fridge. What happened over here? You know what it is? Because the love is so great. Ahava, the love, mekalkelet et shura. You do things that are beyond natural. That's why one of the things to serve Hashem is to have extra love for Him. Because then you'll do things beyond the limits that you have to. Yeah, you're right, I have these mitzvot. But you love Him so much that you think out of the box, wow, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Because when it comes to real love, you do things in your life that you never think that you could even do before. It's like that. If you have your best friend, another example. Your best friend. He's stranded. 2 o'clock in the morning, he's stranded. He tells you, "Oh, listen, how you doing? Where are you?" "Oh, I'm in Maryland, Baltimore. It's 3-hour drive from New York, let's say. So I'm stranded in the middle of the city over here. I need your help ASAP. Please, I'm begging with all my heart." "Oh, you kidding me?" Of course. He gets thing. He loves his friend so much. He's his best. He's his boy from growing up. You know, I'll do anything for you. What do you need? I'll tell you an example. One of my best friends, one of my very, very good friends. One time he needed like a loan. He needed like a few $1,000s, and I remember he gave me a call. He says, "Listen, I need this money tonight." I said, "No problem." I didn't even think at the time. I said, "No problem. I'm going to get you the money. Whatever you need, I got you." Well, why? You're not even thinking first, see if you have cash, see this, see that. It didn't make a difference to me. My friend needs it, it's done. It's done. Why? Because the relationship that you have is so great. The ahava, the love is so great, where it goes beyond limits of the natural being. You know, do you understand that? Do you understand that? A love for a son to his child. A father loves his son, correct? A son loves a father. The love that a father has for his child, no matter what it is in life, it's an automatic where he does things beyond what he has to do. Why? Because it's so great love. I'll tell you an example. I'll never forget this example. Listen to what I'm telling you right now. One guy I used to teach back in the day. I used to teach a group of boys, not a group over here, and one kid in the group. I met his father one night on a Friday night. And he said, "Oh, Rabbi Palacci." I was like, "Yeah, how are you?" He's like, "My son loves you. Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." So how's my son doing in the shiur, in the class? So I said, "Do you want to really know the truth?" He was a young kid. He's a young guy. I was like, "Do you really want to know the truth?" He says, "Of course." Okay, I said, the truth is, he comes in, he spaces out. This is what I told the father. He spaces out. He's not really into it. He's this, he's that. I told him straight. That was the truth. In my mind, I was thinking that he's going to go back to the son and say, "Listen, when you're in Rabbi Palacci's class, you got to focus. You got this." I was telling the truth, so maybe he's going to tell his son. None of that. You know what I got? The guy, ever since then, he says hello, like from far. Hi, Rabbi, from far. And I'm thinking, what happened? I know what happened. You slighted his son. The love of his son is so great that he can't handle it. Even though I was doing it for the benefit that when he knows, maybe he'll straighten out his son. But it didn't make a difference because ahava, love, goes beyond that. You said about my son, he spaces out. That's it. That already in his brain doesn't make a difference. After that, he loves his son so much, it's messed up. That's it. I don't care what you have to say anymore. I'm not interested. Why? Because ahava, love, mekalkelet et ashura. It messes up the natural abilities. It messes up either good or bad. It can mess up good also. Good and bad. It doesn't make a difference. You just love the person so much. You know? You cannot tell me my son is wrong. You cannot tell me my daughter is wrong. That's impossible. I love them too much. You said wrong. You said wrong. That's it. You don't ever talk to me again. You asked. Let me give you that as an example. That's a yesod. And it goes vice versa as well. You love your husband, people, wow, what you would do for a husband, she'll forget about it. It's anniversary one time, wow, what she does, she cooks a whole entire 7-course meal. I thought you know how to cook. I don't know how to cook. She said, she'll admit, I don't know how to cook. There was a lady, I'll never forget, when I was growing up as a kid, I used to go to my friend's house. I'll never forget. Every night he would have dinner from different restaurants. Monday was Chinese, Tuesday was pizza, Wednesday. I was like, "What's going on over here?" And like every night that I go, I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "No, my mother doesn't cook." I was like, "What does that mean?" "My mother doesn't know how to cook." I was like, "So what happens?" So my father orders in. We have Monday this, Sunday that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was like, whoa, what's going on? What do you do for Shabbat? I was like, what do you do for Shabbat? It's true, by the way. It's a true story. So no. Shabbat she cooks. Say why? She loves Shabbat. Shabbat, she gets into it. She cooks it. Why? Ahava. Ahava mekakil d'shura. She loves what she wants to do. She loves to do. That's what she wants. That she'll do. Oh, Shabbat, I gotta cook all out, full force. That's what it is. Now, Yaakov understood that. Yaakov knew that what did Yosef love? You know what he loved? He loved to do chesed, kindness. Should I tell you the proof? I'll tell you the proof. The proof is, when there was a famine in Egypt, who was giving out the food to the people? Who? Who was giving out the food? Answer me. Who was giving out the food to the people? It was a famine. Who? You think that Yosef, that's a king, second in command, he's going to sit there and wait and give every single person bread? Does that make sense? That Yosef is going to do that? So what would he do? He'll have his entourage, and you guys give out the food. I'm not going to sit there, wait online, and give everybody food. But no. Guess what Yosef did? Yosef did that. Because Yosef loved chesed so much that it says in Midrash, not only did he give the food, he wouldn't eat. He would fast all day until the last person got food. And when the last person got food, Midrash says, then he would eat. Because he loved doing kindness. Because he knew that he was going to be the only one that could do the job. Why was he the only one that could do the job? You know why? I'll tell you why. Let me tell you. Do you understand, to have a position like that, you have to feel for the people? You know that? You have to feel for the people. I was at a soup kitchen once. You ever go to a soup kitchen? Simon, you ever been at a soup kitchen before? No, I'm talking about legit. You did? Yes or no? I went to a soup kitchen once. I'll never forget the experience that I had. The soup kitchen had hours. And the hour is closed. That's it. It's over. But the owner of the soup kitchen knew me. He says, Rabbi, you're going to stay here. The kitchen's closed, but you're going to stay. I want to show you some more things that I have in my facilities. It's okay, great. I go there. As I'm going, there's a lady knocking on the door. She wants to come in. She didn't eat today. She was starving. And another lady that's there said, I'm sorry, we're closed. We have hours. We can't just keep on opening. So I'm like thinking, just let her in, big deal. She opens up the door. There's no utensils. There's no forks. There's nothing. She takes her hands. And I saw my own eyes. She scoops out rice. And she's eating the rice from her hands. And she does it again. And she does it again until... And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? She's looking at me that I'm looking at her. I was like, I'm not looking at her, and I turned my face around. I was just like, what? But then I understood. You don't know what it is when a person doesn't eat all day. And the first time they have food, they go crazy. They don't have any food. Yosef, when he meets his brothers, he says to his brothers, don't worry. You didn't do anything wrong. Because God put me in this position in order what? To feed the people. But what about the 12 years that he was in jail? Why didn't he tell him 12 years I'm in jail? You know why? Because those 12 years when he was in jail, what do you think jail was back then in Egypt? You think they had anything close to what the jails are now? Never. But Yosef saw how people with no food in jail, how they would go crazy. I need food, I need food, I need food. So after 12 years, he built a sensitivity that when he became the leader, he said, nobody's giving out the food. You know why? Because I'll tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to be waiting online. And everybody's going to be pushing, I want food and I want food. And the guy who's in charge of giving the food will be like, You two that fought, out of here. But Yosef says, no, I'm going to be in charge. And when I see two people fighting, I'll understand, I'll calm them down. So you both are going to get, but patience, but you'll both get. I won't kick them out. Nobody can do that except Yosef. And the only way Yosef was able to learn those lessons was because when he went to jail, he saw what was going on. He saw how crazy it was. That made him be a leader. When he came out of jail, he understood what it is to be starving. And therefore, when he went to feed the people, he said, nobody's going to do this job because nobody can do this job. Because if I tell you go feed the people, you won't know how, because you'll see two people fighting, you just kick them off the line, but you don't realize where they're coming from. You don't realize their mentality, where they're brought up, where they don't have any food. You don't know what it is. And therefore Yosef himself loved chesed so much that he said, nobody's taking this job. I'm doing it myself. I'll give out every morsel of piece of bread myself. Yaakov knew that. And Yaakov says, you built in yourself a character trait of kindness. That means you love chesed so much that if I'm not going to ask you to bury me. No. I'm going to ask you to do chesed. You know what the chesed is? Bury me in Israel. But when I go in the form and I say, you're doing me chesed, so Yosef's brain automatically clicks, chesed? I'm a lover of chesed. No problem, whatever it is, I'll do it. So now Yaakov says, you're agreeing to do chesed? Yes! That means Yosef, since you love it so much, no matter what, nothing's going to stop you. Even if Paro is going to stop you, you're going to be able to fight back. But that wasn't enough. Because Yaakov says, it still might be too difficult. So therefore what I want you to do, I want you to swear. I want you to swear. You know what that does when a person makes a swear? There's a Gemara that says a pasuk, Nishbati va'aykayema lishmor mishpetei tzedkecha, which means sometimes when a person swears, when a person makes a promise, it makes him feel more obligated to do the mitzvah. I'll give you an example. You can't wake up in the morning. You know what you say? You say, tomorrow morning if I don't wake up, this is what you say. I'm going to wake up to minyan. If I don't, I'm giving $100 to tzedakah. Beli neder, you say neder, $100 to tzedakah. Which tzedakah? A tzedakah that you don't want to give to. You know what I said? A tzedakah that you don't want to give to. Then you say, Rabbi, which tzedakah you don't want to give to? A tzedakah that you don't want to give to. You understand what I'm trying to say? And like that, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. Miller gives an example. Let's say, for example, a guy, Satma. He likes to give Satma. He's a Satma. He likes to give Satma. What's that? Satma is a Hasidish a sect. Satma. You never heard of Satma? One of the biggest Hasidim in the thing. Come on. Satma. So he says, imagine Satma. He says, no, I'm going to give to Syrian. Satma. I want to give to my thing. Well, Syrian. Yeah, don't come to minyan tomorrow. This is what it is. It'll force you to what? To get better. And that's exactly what Yaakov is doing. He wants him to do chesed, which means that Yosef, since you love doing that, it'll make you go wild and figure out a way to get you out. And he wants also to make a swear. So now you can't break your promise. You can't break your swear. Because now I forfeited. Otherwise, if I don't make you swear, you know what's going to happen? Yosef is going to start going. He's going to be stopped. Oh, I tried. What should I do? I tried my best. What should I do? No. Swear to me. When I left Mikdash, I'll never forget. I left Mikdash. And before I left, I had a few things that I didn't, it was very hard for me to leave behind. What I mean is jobs. My jobs were to put a halacha every day on the board. And I started a new thing. It was Shmirat HaLashon halacha. I still have the notes. Kadash, you can have it after. I still have the notes. Every day, we would put 2 halachot on the board. So a guy's getting a coffee, and the halachot were there. I'll never forget. So I wanted it to continue. So I took one of the boys that was going to stay the next year. I was leaving. I graduated. I was there for 2 or 3 years. And I took him. I said, listen, I chose you. I told him, I'm choosing you. Don't mess around. We're continuing the lineage. And I said, listen, I'm giving you this. It's an honor. I need you to shake my hand. I said, this is a shake. He said, no, I told you I'm doing it. No, don't tell me to do it. This handshake is like a shivu'ah. You're going to make sure you can do it every day. Make sure you put it. You can miss a day, okay, I understand. But otherwise you put it up. And I told him, before you leave Mikdash, you have to appoint another guy. And that's what happened. His name was Rahami Mizrahi. He's in BMG now. He's living in Lakewood now. But I remember I told Raymond Mizrahi, I said, you're going to be in charge. And after you have to, and what I do, it's like, why are you making the whole thing? I told you I'll do it. No. Don't tell me you'll do it. Because if something wants to get done, strong handshake, you gave me your word, I made him write it down on a piece of paper, I'll make sure that this will be done. Why? To make it strengthen. Now, Yaakov has both of those. Yaakov has chesed now. He tells Yosef, do me a chesed. So the love will make sure that you'll do the chesed. Because you love chesed so much, you'll actually go ahead and go wild to do it. And two, you have a shivu'at to do it. But we're not done. You know what? You know what's going through Yosef's mind right now? I said I'll do it. But how come my mother, you want me to do it, right? But how come my mother, you didn't bury her in the Marat Machpelah? What happened over there? How come you didn't bury my mom in the Marat Machpelah? Makes sense or no? Good question or no? Good question. Good question. And what is Yaakov going to answer? Whatever Yaakov is going to answer, Yosef has a question. You're telling me that chesed, and I love doing chesed, and the love will make you do something beyond nature. So if you're telling me the love will make you do something beyond nature, how come you didn't bury my mother in Marat Machpelah? How come? If you really love my mother so much, you would have done anything for my mother. So how come you didn't bury her in Marat Machpelah? That's what Rashi says. If you look at the Rashi, he says, he tells Yosef, what does he say? Listen to this Rashi, amazing Rashi. He says like this, he says, what? I know you, Yosef, what you're thinking. Right? And what does he say? He says, I know that you might have something on me saying that I should have buried your mother. But listen to this. Listen to this. He tells him back, before I tell you all this about your mother, Yosef brings in his children. And he says to his children, in front of Yosef, your children are going to be like my children. Your children are going to be part of the Shevatim like my own children. That means my grandkids right now are physically like my kids. And he's specifically telling Yosef that. He didn't tell any of the brothers that. He specifically told Yosef that. You know why? Because he's telling Yosef, I had you from your mother Rachel. You know how much I love Rachel? I love Rachel so much that her grandchildren, which is your children, are like my children. That's how much I loved her. So therefore, don't have any claim against me and say, how come I didn't go bury her in Marat Machpelah? Because guess what? I love her so much that her grandchildren are like my children. That's why Yosef had to wait. That's why Yaakov had to wait. And Yaakov didn't tell anything about Rachel until after Yosef brought his own children and showed Yosef, look how much I love Rachel. I love her so much, I'm willing to make her grandchildren like my children as Shevatim. And therefore he says, now I can tell you, the reason why I didn't bury Rachel is not because I didn't love her. I loved her so much, and the proof is I'm making your children like the Shevatim. The reason why I didn't bury her in Marat Machpelah was because Hashem told me specifically. You hear the whole cheshbon over here? Tonight we did a big cheshbon. Tonight we did a cheshbon that a person is Rosh Shmuel Birnbaum brings it down in his Sefer Vokori Shemo. It's a cheshbon because at the end of the day, if you look at the psukim, it's very, very hard to make sense to it. First, it starts off with Yaakov telling Yosef, bury me in Israel. Then you have a whole section about Menashe and Ephraim. Where does that have to do with anything? And then after that, Yaakov says, oh, and by the way, if you're going to ask me, how come I didn't bury Rachel in Israel? I'll tell you, because Hashem told me. That should be right after you asked Yosef to bury me in Israel. Don't put Menashe and Ephraim in the middle. No, Menashe and Ephraim has to be in the middle of all this. Why? Because Yosef is thinking, you want me to bury you in Israel, in Israel, in Israel. How come you didn't bury my own mother in Israel? And if you're going to tell me, because Hashem says, so Hashem said, but you should love my mother so much, you should have done it, you should have pleaded with Hashem. He says, no, I love your mother. I love your mother so much that I'm willing to make your children like my children. Even she's from Rachel, my grandchildren like my children. Oh, then Yosef says, understand. And you know what? Yaakov was so right. You know how I know Yaakov was so right? Because you look in the Psukim later on. Paro did not want Yosef to leave Egypt to bury his father. You know that? You know that? After that, the Psukim specifies, by the way, Paro did not want Yosef to go out of Egypt. The Psukim say it. The Psukim say it. When he died, he said, where are you going? So I'm going to bury my father. Well, bury your father. The Psukim said, no, he didn't want him to. Why do you want me to? Why didn't he want him to? Huh? But you know when Paro agreed to let Yosef go? You know when? I'll tell you when. Listen to this. It's an amazing thing, by the way. It's an amazing thing. Yosef says, Avi, my father, he's talking to Paro. Avi hishbi'ani, my father made me swear. He made me swear. You know what he says right after? Paro answers, Vayomer Paro to Yosef, Kvor et avicha kasher hishbi'acha, because he made you swear. Rashi says on the spot, if he didn't make you swear, I wouldn't let you go. But because he made you swear, I'll let you go. Because you know why? When Paro was becoming a king, Yosef was becoming a king. There's a Gemara that speaks about how when they went back and forth with languages, and Yosef knew one more language than Paro, and that's a disgrace for the king. Paro said, "Come here, Yosef. Promise me that you won't tell anyone. Swear to me that you won't tell anyone that you know one more language than me." Yosef swore. So now Paro is saying, if I don't let Yosef go, after he made the swear, you know what Yosef is going to say? Wait, you want me to break my swear from Yaakov? So then I'll break my swear from you, Paro. Paro got scared. He said, because of that swear that you made your father, go. Yeah? When something's very important to you, you don't mess around. You know what this lesson tonight is? When something's so important to you, you don't mess around. You know how important it is to learn Torah? You know how important it is to learn Torah? You can't mess around with it. You know what it says? It says, marry. Listen what it says. It says, marry a daughter of a chacham. You know what the reason is? You'll never believe me in a million years what the reason is. What do you think the reason is? What do you think the reason is? Marry, it says even so much, sell everything you have. Imagine, you have the daughter of Tamei Chacham. Oh, Chacham, I need to marry your daughter. You're the only Chacham in town, and I need to marry your daughter. So he tells, listen, imagine he says, how much money you have? How many buildings do you have? I have 10 buildings, all worth 100 million. So I'll only give you my daughter if you sell all 100 buildings and give me all the money. I'll let you marry my daughter. And she's the only daughter of Tamei Chacham. You know what the Gemara says? Do it. Gemara says, Le'olam yimkor kol ma sheyesh lo ve'yasi. It says it both. Ve'yasi b'torah tamei hacham. And it says that you should marry the daughter of tamei hacham. And you know what the reason why is? You'll never guess it in a million years. Should I tell you? You ready? I'll tell you. The reason to bring it down is it's far-fetched, scary. Far-fetched, scary. It says because maybe the person that gets married to this girl, heaven forbid, the guy, Chas v'shalom, will pass away. And if he passes away, what happens to the children? Who do they go to? To the daughter. But where does the daughter go to? To the father. Who's the father? Chacham. He's going to raise the kids to be good Jewish kids. Now, because of this reason, there's a Rav Moshe Feinstein that says, since this is the reason, if you know the family's religious family, and the father knows the chashivut of Torah, make sure he knows the chashivut of Torah. Because if he doesn't, heaven forbid. But you say to yourself, it's so far-fetched. It's so far-fetched. Come on, what's the chance of that happening? You're right. It's very far-fetched. But because Torah is so important, we don't want to take a chance. So we have to go all the way out and not take a split chance on that. You hear what's going on over here? He said, what's the chances? Why does the Torah so makpid? Because they want to make sure that your children stay on the derech. It's a life insurance policy. Exactly. But what? You see that when something is so important to you, you know what you do? You go all out. Yaakov, he didn't just tell his son, do a chesed with me. He made him swear on his deathbed that this don't ever mess around with. Why? Because when something's so important, you don't mess around. You make sure it gets done. And whatever you're thinking in your mind to accomplish in your life, everybody has something that they want to accomplish in life. Spiritually, everybody. They want to achieve something. Guess what? Don't ever let it down. Because that thing, it's very well be a siman min hashamayim that Hashem wants it from you. He wants it from you. And don't let it go. You feel it? It could be a siman min hashamayim that I must do that. And you think, big deal. No, it's a big deal. Go with your full force and make sure it gets done. I'll never forget, there was a guy over here that always wanted to help children, give them toys for Hanukkah. He never did it. But he would always talk to me about it. And I was thinking, I feel bad for him. Because if it was so important for you, you'll make sure it gets done. Deep down, every one of us has deep down something that they want to work on spiritually. And that itch is so important that you better make sure, whatever you can do, get it done. Get it done. Everybody has something. I know what I have. And it irks me every single day. I have to get it accomplished. I don't want to say what it is, but it's something that I have to accomplish. And I do it every day, in and out. I have to make sure it's accomplished. When something's so important to you, you'll go beyond limits. And that's why Yaakov Avinu says, Yosef, I know whatever I tell you, I know you'll do. But I want to make sure it's getting done 100%. Swear to me! Even though Yaakov is on his deathbed, swear to me! Why? Because something that's so important, you make sure that it gets done. Have a great day.